Yerp, this Perp back with another video, and I just got done watching episode 7 of season 1 of From. It just keeps getting better and better. I like this episode. It makes me appreciate those slower episodes and the build up to what we get in this episode. A lot of people didn't make it. Um, we're gonna get to this dude Kevin because he's the biggest dickhead in tonight's episode. While that's going on, they're getting ready for like Fatima's anniversary for her being there for a year. You know, Fatima is showing Julie her secret stash that she keeps away from Trudy. Her favorite sweater. It's like this yellow sweater. The peaches are no longer, here anymore. So Victor's kind of upset about that. Also, Ellis is kind of going through his thing. He's drinking a lot throughout the day. So obviously, this day marks something significant for Ellis. Meanwhile, you have Jade still trying to decipher what's this symbol about. What is he looking for? And I still think that, Ethan, Jade, Victor, and also Sarah are going to be big players in these next few episodes going forward. Then we have Father Crabtree going up to Boyd and pretty much telling him, giving him a confession. We'll get into that very shortly. But I want to switch things over to, Jim and Tabitha and how they're kind of dealing with this. And, Tabitha's just really worried. And meanwhile, Jim is sitting there trying to create a tower so they can probably get some type of reception, see if that radio works. While that's going on, you have Donna and just everybody gathering around, and she's saying a lot of nice words about Fatima and how she's like a core, crucial part of just Colony House. Then we get this weird scene of this chick just randomly kissing Fatima, and Julie makes note of this and kind of acts in a different way, and we'll get into that very shortly. So going over to Boyd and Father Crabtree, and they're kind of discussing things back and forth, and Father Crabtree is just letting him know his backstory because he never let him know until this moment. And it was a really sad story about, he was trying to be there for this little boy, but then, he had a really abusive home. The kid ended up dying, and he feels guilty about it. So I kind of see where Father Crabtree is coming from and just why he is the way he is. And he also confesses to Boyd that, he has Sarah in his basement, and he automatically pulls out his gun, and Father Crabtree's like, yeah, you gonna shoot me? And Father Crabtree just wants Boyd to hear him out. So we'll get back to that very shortly because it has something to do with Sarah. Now let's go to this dickhead Kevin, because he has fallen in love with one of these monsters, these creatures, demons, whatever you want to call them, and he fell for it hook, line, and sinker. I'm like, bruh, you fucked up, right? And it's interesting because this is the most time that we've seen one of these creatures on camera, specifically this one, that I feel like some of them kind of act different. They probably do have different personalities just based off what we've seen. So, they're finally in, at least one, because of Kevin and his dumbassery. So while that's going on, you got Ellis getting into it with one of the people at the house, and he mentions a lot of interesting things that we still don't got the full detail on what happened to Ellis's mother. And he says some things that kind of trigger him, like he's like, you better chill out or you're gonna shoot this place up again. I'm paraphrasing, but he also says like mother like son. Really weird choice of words, but Donna pretty much knocks him on his ass, and he's like, bro, I don't want to hear another word from you. Shouts to Donna. Donna is a real one. I love her character. So we have to talk about probably my favorite scene, or the funniest scene to me in this episode, is where, this whole episode, Kenny warns Jade about, we got to get dinner ready. And he's not trying to hear it. He's too focused on whatever he's focused on. And Kenny's mom comes in here and is like, yo, you better get your ass downstairs and eat this goddamn food. She said it in a different language. Obviously, she probably said something else, but it was fucking hilarious. Then we get this really lighthearted moment between Fatima and Trudy, because they always kind of bumped heads, but she talks to Trudy about, maybe someday soon we'll celebrate your anniversary and whatnot, and she says, nah, I don't think that's for me, or that's going to happen for me. And Fatima ends up giving Trudy her favorite sweater, or something like that, and she goes off. But then we have Julie coming in, and she starts to ask questions about, who's that girl that kissed you, and I thought you were with Ellis. And then she kind of lets it slip, like, can you kiss me like that? And that lets me know, like, damn. So this whole time, Julie actually had a thing for Fatima, or, is a little curious, at least. That's what I'm getting at. So that's interesting. She kind of runs off. She pretty much feels embarrassed. But going back to Boyd and Father Crabtree, and he's trying to convince Boyd to, like, yo, Sarah might be the key to all this of helping us get out of here. And Boyd is just kind of like, I don't know. But he's starting to kind of warm up to the idea. Then shooting over to Tabitha and Jim, this is an interesting experience for them, because they were about to get a divorce, and I think just them being here is kind of helping them mend those wounds and, like, get them a little bit closer. We'll have to see. But I do think it's interesting that, when Father Crabtree was talking about how he got to this place, it all has something to do with what somebody did or is about to do. So there might be some type of hint there, but I don't know. Let me know how you guys feel about that. So, like I was saying earlier about these creatures, this one in particular was like kind of like cleaning itself off, washing its hands. And it's like they're almost trying to be human. I don't know what that is, man. Maybe them killing humans will make them more human. I don't know, or just that's how they kind of are able to camouflage and, just be amongst people. It's just really creepy. So now with Julie pretty much feeling kind of embarrassed, the one place she goes to is Victor, and she starts asking Victor about him seeing two cars and how that's very unique. She just is asking questions pretty much, while we switch things over to Jade and Kenny. He finds something like a picture, a photograph, and Victor's in it. He's in the background. So there's definitely some connection. Victor definitely knows a lot more than he's willing to say. But now things have just became chaotic, as Trudy is the first one to die, and it's really sad. They pretty much corner her, and they don't show it obviously, but they show a little bit later, and just it's complete chaos. And I love how everybody's just scattering, and all they do is just walk. It's just like how Donna said, like, they don't even run, they just walk. And Fatima's trying to get everybody out. They're doing this protocol Donna set up, like, I guess they're going to the town, while Victor and Julie gotta go, somewhere else, away from everything. They're following this boy in white. Fatima wants to go find Ellis, because Ellis is still in the house, and he's pretty much kind of trapped. So we get this scene of Ellis kind of trying to move really stealthy without making a bunch of noise. He sees Fatima's sweater, and he thinks it's Fatima that died, but it's actually Trudy's body. and he's able to escape out the window real quick. He fucks up his shoulder, but then they end up kind of getting stuck downstairs. Like, Fatima has one of those, what are those, the talismans? But they have no idea if that's going to truly work. It worked in the RV, and we're just going to have to wait till next episode. The episode ends with Victor taking Julie to one of those trees. She goes into the tree and goes into that little cellar that Jade found. Really dope shit. Donna and everybody pulls up hella deep, tells everybody to come into the building, but Father Crabtree unfortunately gets caught lacking, gets his throat slit, and it's not looking too good. But it was really sad, like Boyd just telling Boyd and Crabtree pretty much saying a prayer before he goes, and he's just like, this is not my time. I needed more time. And it's so sad. I don't know if he's gonna make it. It doesn't really look like he can make it. There was a pretty significant gash to his neck, but man, this was a phenomenal episode. Finding out a little bit more about Julie and just her sexuality, that's cool. You know, it's a shame that she kind of got embarrassed, but we'll see how that goes and what they're going to do with her story, because she's pretty much stuck in that little cellar. Overall, like I said, really dope episode. It had stakes. I counted, I think 3 people died, because I think Victor dug 4 holes, I think it was. So who will that 4th person be? Or if it might have been more holes, I don't know. It's interesting, man, because now I think this is going to bring the 2 communities together. You know what I'm saying? We don't know if this is going to still pick up at nighttime, or we're going to be going strictly to the next day, and they're going to have to deal with things afterwards. Let me know how you guys feel about this episode in the comments below. What were some of your favorite moments? Did you like the whole scene with Kenny's mom? I think that was my favorite. I can't wait for next week. These next few episodes are going to be dope. But until next time, I'm out.